Hello everyone, and welcome to my Soap Twist 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. In the wealthy world of Los Angeles fashion, where glitter concealed the rough edges of family disputes and hidden intentions, Eric Forrester had always been Forrester Creations' unshakable pillar. The corporation he started with sketches and ideas had grown into an empire, but now, in his final years, a shadow loomed greater than any competition. Eric's health, which had been deteriorating since his near-fatal sickness years before, had taken another mysterious turn. Tremors in his hands, dizziness. He dismissed them as age-related, but deep down, he knew the truth. Doctors had warned about a possible comeback, which could shorten his life. He confided solely in Donna Logan, his faithful wife, who had supported him through scandals and recoveries. With her warm smile and unfailing loyalty, Donna kept a close eye on Eric. She saw the small changes, the way he hesitated in mid-sentence, the tired look in his eyes after a simple encounter. She begged him to rest, to take a break from the daily grind at Forrester, but Eric refused. The company was his legacy and lifeblood. Ridge, his son and co-CEO, had been softly pressing Eric to retire completely, citing previous health concerns, but Eric regarded it as a takeover. Tensions simmered in boardrooms and family dinners, with Steffi and Thomas siding with Ridge and Rick and Bridget concerned from a distance. One clear afternoon in the Forrester mansion, overlooking the expansive hills of Beverly Hills, Eric sat in his study, staring at legal documents spread across his mahogany desk. He had long ignored the practicalities of death, such as wills, trusts, and wealth allocations. Donna approached quietly, bearing a tray of his favorite honey-sweetened tea, precisely as they both preferred. She laid it down and threw her arms around him from behind, placing her chin on his shoulder. "My love, you look exhausted," she said quietly, her voice full of concern. "You've been in here for hours. What's all this?" Eric sighed and turned to kiss her hand. "Just tying up loose ends, honey bear. Forrester Creations, the house, the investments, everything I've built. I need to make sure it's protected. For the family. For you." Donna's heart clenched. She knew Eric's condition was advancing silently, with tests yielding alarming results that he minimized. The physicians had warned Eric that he would only have a few months if he was not vigorously treated, but he shunned experimental treatments for fear of becoming weaker. Instead, he focused on legacy. But Donna sensed opportunity in his vulnerability. She loved him profoundly, but her years as a Logan sister had taught her the frailty of security. Brooke had Forrester connections via Ridge. Katie had her own ventures with Bill's support. But Donna? Her entire future depended on Eric. She sat near him and took his hand. "Eric, darling, you've given so much to everyone. The kids, the grandkids, they'll be fine. Ridge is running things smoothly. But what about us? What about me? If something happens, I need to know I'll be taken care of. Not just a stipend or a guest room here. All of it, the controlling shares, the properties, everything transferred to me. That way, I can protect your legacy the way you would want." Eric's eyes twinkled with surprise. "Donna, the will already provides generously for you. The house is yours. Trusts have been established. But it's not enough," she pressed gently, her eyes welling with genuine tears. The worry was genuine. She hated losing him. But beneath that, ambition sparked. "Ridge and Steffi, they've been pushing you out. If you pass without changing things, they'll control everything. They'll sideline me, just like they did before. Remember how Stephanie treated me? I can't go back to nothing, Eric. Not after everything we've been through. Transfer it all to me now, while you're here. It's the only way to ensure your wishes are honored." Eric shivered a bit as he reached for the legal papers. The sickness rendered him hazy at times and susceptible to suggestion. Donna leaned in and stroked his cheek. "Think about it. Your health isn't what it used to be. We both know that. The doctor said rest, no stress. But if you're worried about the company falling into the wrong hands, this solves it. I'll hold it in trust for the family, but with me in control. No more fights with Ridge. Days turned into weeks as Donna continued to argue. She set up secret sessions with a family lawyer, citing Eric's wishes for updates. She reminded him nightly of their passionate history, the forbidden affair that led to marriage, the honey-scented moments that restored his vigor. "You saved me, Eric. Let me save you now." From worry. From regret. Eric's resistance lessened. The most recent medical report, concealed in his drawer, showed progress. Pain flared up more frequently, and energy levels dropped. Donna would hug him in moments of weakness, such as when he was laying in bed after a terrible episode. "Sign it, my love. Transfer the assets, Forrester shares, estates, portfolios. All to me. It's for us. For our future, however long." Eric sat at the desk again one evening, as the sun set over the city. Donna stands beside him, her hand on his. The lawyer waited electronically, with documents ready. Eric's pen hesitated. Doubts swirled. Ridge would be furious, and the family would be torn apart. But Donna's sobs, and her cries for security, swung the scale. "I can't leave you vulnerable," he said. It was done with a wobbly signature. Donna Logan Forrester now has controlling interest in Forrester Creations, the home, and the offshore accounts. She hugged him tightly, disguising her triumph with comfort. "Thank you, Eric. You've secured everything." However, murmurs arose. Brooke noted Donna's increasing confidence and the small changes in conversation. Katie overheard hints from Bill's detectives while establishing her competing fashion house. Ridge discovered discrepancies in company documents. Suspicion grew. Had Donna used Eric's failing health and dread of death to grab control? Family gatherings became tense. Steffi accused directly during a Christmas dinner. "Dad, are you sure about this? Donna's been pushing you while you're not feeling well." Eric defended her weakly, his strength sapped by illness. Donna smiled serenely, but inside, chaos raged. Love for Eric clashed with avarice, and protection with trickery. As Eric's condition deteriorated, hospital trips became more frequent, strength waned, regret crept in for both. Donna nurtured him tirelessly, remorse mixed with possession. "I did it for us," she'd say, but alone, she questioned whether power was worth the fracture. Ridge confronted her quietly. "You used his illness to put pressure on him. This isn't love, it's exploitation," Donna said, her eyes welling with tears. "I protected him from you taking everything." The aftermath shook the Forresters and Logans. Lawsuits loomed, and trusts were contested. Brooke mediated, divided between sisters. Katie withdrew herself, realizing the cost of ambition. In quiet moments, Eric clutched Donna's hand. "Did I do it right?" he'd ask. She'd reassure him, but her eyes were averted. The empire teetered, created on love and warped by fear. Donna had the assets, but for what price? Isolation increased, and familial relationships frayed. Eric's time ran out, and his legacy was stained by doubt. But in the end, while machines beeped in his chamber, Donna by his side muttered apologies and thanks. He grinned slightly. "You gave me joy, honey bear. That's enough." But for Donna, the weight of exploitation lingered, casting a pall over her newfound wealth. Power has been secured, but the purity of love will be forever questioned. The fashion industry whirled on, as collections debuted amid turbulence. Forrester persevered, but changed. Donna takes the helm, proving skilled but tormented. Rivals circled, and the family steadily healed. Years later, reflections in mirrors revealed a lady who had gained everything, but lost her innocence of devotion. The cost of exploitation is a vulnerability-based throne. And so the cycle proceeded, with loves entwined with ambition, illnesses revealing secrets, and assets shifting like runway lights. To meet the requested length, the tale delves further into everyday scenes. The morning light seeped through the mansion's windows as Donna made breakfast for Eric. She watched him struggle with the newspaper, his hands wobbly. "Let me help," she asked quietly, folding it for him. Conversations were replayed, her subtle comments regarding financial security, his initial refusals, and eventual acceptance. Flashbacks to their relationship, The infidelity during his marriage to Quinn, the reconnection after recovery, and the wedding. Ridge's rage in the office, slamming files, was described in detail by family members. Dad's not thinking clearly. His health is failing, and you're taking advantage. Steffi's tears, Thomas's plan to contest. Brooke's intervention. Donna, is this really what Eric wanted, or what you convinced him? Katie's distance. Logan's stick together, but not like this. Eric's inner doubts, confiding in an old friend Stephanie's photo, or anything significant. Hospital scenes, doctors describing the development, Donna advocating for comfort care, and concealing her relief at control. Legal battles, lawyers claim improper influence owing to illness. Donna's internal monologue, true love, but real dread of poverty due to Logan's upbringing. Resolution is ambiguous. Perhaps Eric recovers slightly, revokes certain transfers, and forgives. Alternatively, if he dies, his will is upheld, and Donna rules alone. Extended conversations, descriptions of clothing, offices, and parties where tensions rise. Holiday party when an announcement is leaked, resulting in turmoil. Media frenzy. Tabloids, gold digger Donna seizes Forrester fortune amid patriarch's illness. Donna's defense in interviews cracks. Finally, the redemption narrative unfolds. Donna utilizes her influence to serve her family, demonstrating intent. But the scar stays. This fanfiction study of the prompt theme encapsulates the spirit of soap operas, drama, betrayal, love, and forgiveness. Donna had always been able to read a room, identifying both weakness and opportunity. Years of negotiating the intricate halls of power at Forrester Creations had taught her that time was crucial. And now, with Eric Forrester weakened by illness, the time could not be more ideal. What began as concern and caretaking gradually morphed into something considerably darker, more planned, as Donna recognized how much power she had over a guy who was no longer at his peak. Eric's condition came on gradually at first. He dismissed minor memory lapses and bouts of tiredness as the result of becoming older. But Donna saw everything. She noticed his hands trembling slightly when he held his coffee, and his voice faltering during sessions he had led with ease. She established herself as his closest ally, the only one who genuinely understood what he was going through. To everyone else, she was the loyal partner, always helpful and protective. To Eric, she had become indispensable. At first, Donna's assistance appeared sincere. She accompanied Eric to doctor's visits, took notes when his focus wavered, and gently reminded him of his schedule and obligations. She assured him that it would only be temporary and that everyone required assistance at some point. Her voice was calming and her touch reassuring. Eric leaned in, grateful for the care and attention, unconscious of the subtle shift occurring beneath the surface. Donna began to isolate him over the course of several weeks. Not blatantly, and not in ways that would prompt quick suspicion. She simply indicated that meetings were too stressful for him, that family discussions could wait, and that relaxation was more essential than business. She intercepted phone calls, framing them as unnecessary distractions. When Ridge or Steffi asked to see him, Donna explained that Eric was weary or not feeling well enough to receive visitors. Eric trusted her judgment and believed she was operating in his best interests. The sickness has an impact on both my physical and mental health. Eric battled with lucidity, occasionally losing his train of thought in mid-sentence. Donna was always there to complete his ideas and gently steer talks in the direction she desired. She continuously praised him, supporting the notion that he was still the clever patriarch in charge. At the same time, she quietly undercut his confidence by reminding him of his vulnerability and the uncertainty of the future. Donna addressed his assets for the first time during one of these sensitive moments. She framed it as a practical topic that responsible adults should engage in. What if something happens to him? What if decisions had to be made quickly? She spoke of safeguarding his legacy and ensuring his wishes were fulfilled. Eric listened, apprehensive but persuaded by her calm reasoning. After all, Donna only wanted the best for him, right? Donna began bringing documentation into the meeting, which she claimed were typical and routine. She explained to Eric that transferring certain assets would simplify things, reduce stress, and give him peace of mind. When he hesitated, she reminded him of his sickness and how unpredictable it was. She mentioned softly how tough it would be for him to do things on his own if his condition deteriorated. The inference was obvious. He needed her support now more than ever. Eric's resistance faded with time. Fatigue made it difficult to dispute her proposals, and confusion obscured the distinction between necessity and manipulation. Donna continuously assured him that this was only temporary and that he may change his mind at any time. She stressed trust, relationship, and shared future. Each signature felt heavier than the last, but Donna was there to guide his hand and offer support. Donna adjusted her demeanor behind closed doors. Her eyes had shifted from concern to something sharper and more calculated. She carefully inspected the documentation, ensuring that everything was in order. Assets were transferred, and control shifted discreetly and efficiently. She convinced herself that she deserved it, that she was simply reaffirming her position after years of being disregarded and dismissed. In her opinion, Eric's illness had just accelerated an unavoidable outcome. Meanwhile, Eric's relatives became aware that something was awry. Rich noted the lack of communication and sudden distance. Steffi questioned why big choices were made without Eric's regular involvement. When they expressed their concerns, Donna rejected them with trained anger, accusing them of overreacting and stressing Eric out. She portrayed herself as the lone guardian standing between Eric and a family obsessed with control. Eric sensed a growing discomfort that he couldn't quite express. There were moments when clarity returned, and he questioned how much he had committed to. But whenever uncertainty arose, Donna was there to soothe it away. She reminded him of his trust in her and all she had done for him. She advised that his bewilderment was just another sign of his sickness and nothing to be concerned about. The pressure increased as Donna pressed for the final transfers. She spoke of urgency and legal intricacies that demanded rapid attention. Her tone shifted, becoming less patient and more demanding. When Eric hesitated, she discreetly leveraged his anxiety by questioning if he truly wanted to leave things unsettled, risking turmoil and strife when he left. The words sat thick in the air, implicit threats masked by concern. Eric eventually gave in, drained mentally and physically. Donna oversaw the transfer of his final assets. She praised him excessively, her eyes shining as she expressed her relief and pride in him for being so responsible. Eric smiled weakly, seeking solace in her praise, ignorant of how much he had given up. Donna's conduct changed again after everything was finished. She became aloof and obsessed with her own affairs. The continual hovering gave way to phone calls and private meetings. Eric observed the change, but felt powerless to stop it. His disease had rendered him reliant, unsure of his place in a world he once commanded. The truth began to emerge when a routine check-in with a trusted legal expert found inconsistencies. Eric tried to understand the ramifications, but the advisor's anxiety was clear. Documents were signed, assets were transferred, and control was reassigned. Eric gradually, painfully, began to comprehend the gravity of what had transpired. The treachery went deeper than the sickness ever could. Confronting Donna proved challenging. She deflected, justified, and minimized. She claimed she just did what he consented to, which was essential. She reminded him of his bewilderment and fragility, using his condition against him one last time. But the seed of doubt had germinated, and this time it couldn't be lightly denied. As the family became aware of the situation, anger flared. Accusations flew, alliances moved, and long-buried resentments emerged. Donna vehemently defended herself, claiming she behaved out of love and responsibility. Others saw through the facade, sensing the deliberate exploitation behind her words. The formerly private manipulation became a very public reckoning. Eric was left to face the legal and emotional consequences. The man who had built an empire now risked losing control of his own legacy. His condition had rendered him susceptible, but it was trust that had failed him. In the quiet moments, he thought about how easily worry had become control and how love had been used as leverage. Donna, for her part, refused to consider herself a villain. She believed the world owed her something, and that existence necessitated courage and sacrifice. However, as scrutiny increased and support waned, cracks began to appear. The authority she had achieved came at a cost, cutting her off from those she had once hoped to impress. The consequences spread throughout the Forrester family. Old scars were rekindled, and questions about loyalty and ethics took center stage. At the center of it all was a devastating lesson about vulnerability and how readily it can be abused by those closest to us. Finally, Eric's condition was only part of the story. The ultimate injury was the betrayal, the gradual erosion of trust that caused permanent scars. Whether justice would be served was unknown, but one thing was certain: nothing would ever be the same again.